So today's topic is about how consistency is more important than perfection. My name is Corey. I make these videos as a documentation of my fitness and my sales experience. And by the end of the day, you're gonna understand exactly why consistency being more important than perfection is not only just a fundamental skill with sales, but realistically a fundamental skill of life. So to get started, I use consistency as an umbrella term for action. I use it for discipline. I use it for work ethic. Perfection, it's an umbrella term for waiting, overthinking, and just overall just hesitation. Actually, I'll call it analysis paralysis. So just to give a little backstory of kind of like how I'm kind of coming to this conclusion, because I mean, it's pretty obvious just on paper when you write it. Like obviously consistency is more important than perfection, but I'll just give a little bit more of a backstory so maybe it kind of relates to you a little bit more. So I started sales about maybe 4 months ago, and when I first started, I was extremely excited. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be the best thing ever. And then 2 weeks in, it just got really repetitive, and I was like, man, what the fuck? But the way I got myself out of that slump was I had this idea in my mind that no matter what your pitch is, if enough people heard it, you would make a very good living. So at that point, I really just stuck to process. It was, man, if I show up on time, I knock this many doors, I do this many pass-throughs, then the sales will just come as a byproduct of it. So there'll be days I would show up to work very mindless, not wanting to work. Like literally almost every time before I go to work, I always say, back to the gutter. Cause it's just like, man, I gotta do this shit again, fuck. But there are a whole lot of people out there that all I have to say is just my name with my company. And they're like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for you. Laydowns. But the only way you're gonna get that laydown is if you knock the door. The way I got myself through those days where I just didn't really want to do anything, I really didn't want to knock, I didn't want to sell, it was just like, man, just knock on the door and go through the process. You don't really have to think, you don't have to think about getting better, or you don't think about how you're going to improve and all this. Just do it. Literally just show up on time, knock the doors, and leave on time. Whatever you have to do, just do it, because those sales will just come as a byproduct of that. So I want to give like a little bit of a visual example of just human emotion in general and how waiting for perfection, waiting for the right timing will ultimately lose you out on deals and basically lose you out on whatever success that you want in any endeavor. So I think of human emotion as a sine graph where, this is kind of weird. Yeah, let's do like that. I think of it as a sine graph. Obviously, there's days that you're happy, you're on top of the world. There's days that you're sad, you're feeling very below everything. So if you were to just wait for the perfect time, if you were to just wait for these highs, wait until you're on your way up, all the way at these times, you have to realize how much you are losing out on by not having that skill of just working no matter how you feel. If you were to just work no matter how you feel, you get the reps in when you're up here, and you get the reps in when you're down here. If you wait until you're happy, you only have the reps up here, and you have to wait until you're back up again. So I just kind of adds to my point of how just doing it, learning that skill of doing it when you don't feel like it, will just contribute to your overall success because you're getting a lot more volume in whatever endeavor that you'd like to do. Like for example, this video isn't even perfect. I got a whole note sheet that I have to actually look back to. But what I'm also thinking about is when I first started getting good at sales, it was a direct reflection of my work ethic and just building up that momentum and just keeping on doing it. But then it got to a point where I had this thing where I was actually able to just be my own boss and I was able to set my own schedule. And with that schedule, like I thought, like I'm pretty good. I could just show up for like 2-3 hours and get my sales and can maintain the schedule. And it worked for a little bit, and it kind of served as that positive reinforcement of like I don't really have to work that much, and I'll still be able to get the same sales. But eventually, everything kind of just caught up. I lost momentum. I stopped getting the sales, and I started feeling some type of way about it. So then at that point, I was thinking like, maybe my pitch is bad. Maybe I'm not saying the right thing, or this person just didn't react the right way to my thing. So I started changing things. And then from there, it just kind of acted as like a downward spiral of just going downhill. But the question is that you had a specific pitch that got you this many sales. Why are you changing it? The only thing that has really changed was my work ethic. That's what went down. My work ethic went down. My discipline went down. I stopped taking as much action. Everything kind of shifted towards here. It shifted towards overthinking. It shifted towards waiting. It shifted towards analyzing too much. Like, oh, maybe what I'm saying is just not the right thing, blah, 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 blah. When in reality is that when it comes to sales, like what you say at the door does not make up everything. You got business cards, door tags. You got how often you're following up with people. You got your tonality. You got how many doors are you knocking. The most important part is how much volume you have. So you have to realize that instead of focusing on this part, focus on trying to be consistent. Like if you're not consistent, that should be the first thing that you're focusing on. Because why are you focusing on doing something so perfectly when you don't even know to do it yet? Like perfection comes after the action, correct? Why are you focusing on the second step before the first one? So I really want to keep this video a lot shorter. And honestly, I would say like the biggest lesson of this entire video is that you have to just focus on doing. You have to just focus on doing and realize that perfection comes as a byproduct. Like, don't really focus on sales. Focus on knocking the amount of doors with the proper pass-throughs with a decent pitch. Sales is a byproduct of that.